The more you try to control it, the more it crushes you. Imagine giving 200% just to micromanage every piece of your life, your job, your family, your perfect plan, only for a single traffic jam, a harsh word, or a layoff to bring it all crashing down. You fall apart because the sky turns black the moment things go off script. This isn't just some philosophy. It's the price you pay for being addicted to control. The hard truth is that 90% of your burnout doesn't come from your problems. It comes from your resistance to reality. The more you fight what's happening, the harder you get hit. Look at Jack, the perfect version of us, disciplined, organized, and obsessed with stability. In Jack's world, chaos is the same thing as failure. He lives in a beautiful valley, but every day he battles the wind. It isn't a gentle breeze. It's aggressive, and it blows away every perfect script Jack writes for his life until the wind becomes his personal enemy. Why are we so afraid of the wind, like Jack is? Because control is a fake sense of security that makes us feel powerful when things go right and worthless when they don't. We try to grip our lives like a handful of dry sand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers, and the more your hand hurts. To deal with the wind, Jack did something he believed was greatness. He built a wall. He spent an entire year hauling heavy stones, sweating through his shirts and sacrificing his health, all while ignoring every sunset just to build a fortress against the wind. He told himself, "As long as this wall is high enough, I'll finally be happy." Now look at your own life. Are you building walls too? When you fear being alone, you track your partner's every move. That's a wall. When you fear failure, you micromanage everything until you're burned out. That's a wall. When you fear judgment, you force yourself into a perfect persona. That's another wall. The mistake is simple. The more rigid the wall, the harder the wind hits it. Fighting reality with rigidity only creates a pressure cooker inside your mind. You aren't finding peace. You're just living in a cage of anxiety that you built with your own hands. Jack's wall was finally finished. It looked majestic and unbreakable. But then, a real storm rolled in. The wind didn't just blow. It roared, slamming into the stone with a vengeance. Jack stood behind his fortress, holding his breath and telling himself, "I did everything right. I'll be fine." But reality didn't care about his effort. With a deafening crack, the wall buckled. The very stones Jack spent his life stacking came crashing down, crushing his own home. That is the exact moment of burnout. When you pour every ounce of energy into fighting reality, and reality wins anyway, you fall into a void of emptiness. You ask yourself, why did I try so hard just to lose everything? The answer is simple. You didn't do it wrong. You were just trying to do the impossible. You can't stop the wind from blowing, and you can't stop the laws of change. In that same valley, an old man named Carter lived on the hilltop, the spot where the wind hit the hardest. Desperate, Jack went to him, hoping to learn the secret to building an even stronger wall. But Carter didn't have a wall at all. What he had was a windmill. He looked at Jack and smiled. "I never fight the wind. I use it." This is a total shift in mindset, moving from resistance to transformation. Carter's windmill took that same aggressive wind and turned it into energy to pump water and light up his garden. The exact same force that destroyed Jack's home was the very thing that powered Carter's life. The wind isn't good or bad. It's just a force of nature. It only becomes destructive when you try to stand in its way. Remember this. Don't build walls. Build sails. A sail doesn't try to stop the wind. It catches it to drive the boat forward. A wise sailor doesn't sit around cursing the direction of the wind. he adjusts his sails. Think of the wind as your circumstances, the criticism, the traffic, the crisis, or the heartbreak. The wall is your resistance, the anger, the complaining, and the desperate need to cling to what's already gone. The sail, however, is your flexibility. It's accepting reality and asking yourself, how can I use this energy to move? So, how do you actually apply this to the cold, hard reality of life? First, radical acceptance. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start saying, this has already happened. Acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about clearing the panic from your mind so you can actually see the solution. Second, find the opportunity in the chaos. If you get laid off, that's a massive gust of wind. Don't waste 6 months resentfully blaming the company. That's building a wall. Instead, use that energy to master a new skill or launch that project you were always too busy for. That's building a sail. Third, control the controllable and let go of the rest. You can't control whether your boss is having a bad day, but you can control the quality of the work you hand in. Focus all your power on your circle of influence, rather than stressing over the circle of concern that you have zero power over. Life never promises you peace. It only promises that the storms will never stop coming. The difference between suffering and serenity lies entirely in the flexibility of your mind. A rigid mind is like a stone wall. It looks imposing, but it shatters under pressure. A flexible mind is like a sail. It leans into the pressure to propel itself forward. It's time to stop carrying heavy stones to build walls. Drop the ego, take a deep breath, and look at the winds that are bothering you right now. Instead of bracing for impact, ask yourself, how can I use this energy to go further? You can't control the direction of the wind, but you have total control over your sails. What are you trying to force into place right now? Have the courage to let go of that stone wall and start learning how to catch the wind.